Hello, this is Dr. Rosie Kuhn, and this podcast series is called Aging Like a Guru. Who, me? So first I want to point out that you're going to be hearing the pitter-patter of raindrops on my roof. So that's what the noise is behind me. Just let you know that so it's not a distraction for you. I also want to share that whenever I'm speaking about somebody and telling a story, I'm always changing names and situations to protect their anonymity. So I'm never talking about somebody who they are. Today I'm talking about somebody named Alvin. I just made that name up. So just to let you know that, you don't have to worry about that. Today, the title of our talk today is Karma. What's that got to do with aging? And in a sense, it has everything to do with aging. It has everything to do with living life well. Most of us think of most of us think of karma as doing right and not doing wrong. And that if you do right, you get good points and you get good things happening. And if you do bad things, that you get bad karma and bad things happen to you. It's not really how it works. That's the simple westernized version of it, but that's not really how it works. It's more like you have a specific intention for living life, and those intentions are based on your principles of life, how you see life, how you think about life, how you know life to be. And it's sort of like if you were in geometry class and there's certain principles by which geometry works. And the more you understand those principles and you work and live and be with those principles, the more you're in alignment and you're going to get the outcome that you're looking for. So as spiritual principles or life principles, you're either living into those or you're not. So for instance, what I'm looking to or what I'm speaking to is your intention. Whenever you're doing something or thinking something, or saying something, there is an intention in your actions. And those intentions are either, in a sense, harmful or in alignment with wanting to bring good into the world. So anytime that your intention is harmful, it's probably going against a particular principle. In a sense, if you want people to treat you well, this is the golden rule. If you want people to treat you well, then you treat other people well. So you know that when you are doing something well and doing something in alignment with your truth, that's what you're doing. And you want other people to do that too. You want people to act in their highest good, their highest truth, and in alignment with what is, a good thing. And when we're not doing that, then we know we're not acting in our highest truth. We're not acting in alignment with our highest intention. And that's where karma plays. And in karma, in a sense, is a way of accountability. Again, going back to geometry, if you're taking a course or a class in learning geometry and there's a test, that test tells you how well you've been able to integrate the principles of geometry. And so the test, in a sense, for karma is the accountability of how well you are actually living into the truth of your principles. So here's an example. Alvin is a fellow who works here on the island, and he does really good work, really, really, really good work. And I've asked Alvin to come and do some work for me. And Alvin says, yes, I'll be there tomorrow. And guess what? Alvin doesn't show up. I don't hear from him. No text, no phone, no nothing. I get pissed off. So I see Alvin a couple days later. He goes, oh yeah, this came up and I didn't get a chance and I'll be there tomorrow. And I go, okay, great. I'm gonna get all excited again. And guess what? Alvin doesn't show up, doesn't call, doesn't text. I get pissed off. And then a third time, Alvin says, I promise I'll be there tomorrow. And he's not, doesn't show up. And then a fourth time. So through that process, this all happened within a week. I go from looking and being mad at Alvin, being pissed off, wanting to hurt him, wanting to manipulate, wanting to get him to do what he said or feel bad about what he didn't do. And the truth is Alvin already knows he didn't do it and he knows he's not connecting with me. So I'm wasting my time trying to get him to feel bad enough to come and do the work. So I have to listen to myself in terms of what's my highest truth, what's my highest knowing, what's my highest principles for being in this circumstance. And Alvin isn't the first person in my life to make promises and not show up. So my pattern of how I'm reacting to Alvin or to anybody else who breaks promises, that's my work, as opposed to punishing him or making him feel bad or trying to get something. So my intention here in talking about this is to get you curious about who you are in these circumstances. In the United States, we've got governmental issues and financial situations and environmental issues and all these issues, and they affect us. So many people are angry and outraged or sad or depressed, and we have to look at who are we inside this that has these reactions. These are actions. In a sense, they're part of us being energies and beings and humans. And so we have to look at that. And how is that, my actions, my reactions to governmental agencies and issues and all of that, and people shooting each other, all of that. What are my reactions, and how is that in alignment with my highest truth, my highest knowing, my highest principles? So coming back to Alvin or to any of those, I have to look at how I'm being and how I'm actually creating more harm to myself by being upset and angry, and I need to look at what are my principles here. And what I know is Alvin is just being Alvin, and there's nothing I can do about that. I'm basically powerless over people, places, and things. That's step one in the AA 12-step programs. Is I admit I'm powerless in this situation, in the sense of getting him to do what he said he would do. I can hire somebody else. I can make choices to hire somebody else because I want the job done, or I can just choose to wait. But if I'm going to choose to wait, I have to choose to let go of my expectations and live in divine order, to live in divine timing, just allow what is to be what is. And these are hard practices. This is not easy. But because I have to remind myself, what are my principles here? What do I know to be true? And in a sense, there's a part of me that believes that Alvin not showing up is an indicator that I'm not there yet in terms of my principles, practicing what I preach. So I have to become more patient, more allowing, more non-attached, more unattached to Alvin's promises. Because every time he makes a promise, I get excited. Whoopee! It's going to happen. And then he doesn't show up. So it's like, I can get mad about that, or I can go, this is who Alvin is. And so if this is who he is, then I have to choose how I'm going to be with this. And I don't want to waste any more time being angry and being in negative emotions. I don't want to waste any more time, strategizing how to manipulate so he'll do what he said. I don't want to waste any more time being anything but in a peaceful state of mind. So that's up to me. And that for me is my karmic practice. The accountability of how I am being present to my spiritual and life principles. And each of us have our own, way of being with that and practicing this. So what does this have to do with aging? The longer we're on the planet, the more opportunities we have to look at and see who we are in this process. What is the spiritual principles by which you operate? And which you want others to operate, and how are you in alignment with how you want to operate? As we get older and we have more medical issues or financial issues or independent issues, we feel lost, or we feel compromised. We feel we can't, like we're losing something. But if we come down into our highest truth and our highest principles, we can come to this place of divine timing, divine order, and in allowance. And to be in allowance means being more at peace. And when we want people to be more at peace so we can be more at peace. We want people to give us what we want so we can have that sense of peace. But the truth is, karmically speaking, that peace and that truth has to come from inside you. And every opportunity that life throws at you to have you look at that and be accountable to you, to yourself, is a really good thing. That's what I think anyway. And it's a very hard practice, but I love the idea that karma isn't that you've done something wrong or bad, but that it gives you, karma is a opportunity to see and be accountable for how you're living your principles, your life truths. All right, that's it for now. I look forward to talking to you soon again. And if you would like, you're welcome to visit my website, theparadigmshifts.com. You can see and find books there, blogs, videos, opportunities to coach with me if that's something that you'd be open to and desiring. And also the Facebook page, Engaging with Guru. You're welcome to leave comments there, any questions. And if you're interested in getting an interview with me on the show, just leave back the messages and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right, big hugs to you. Bye for now.